Our next case study is from Rhondda Housing Association's HAPUS initiative, presented by Luke Takuchi, CEO, Simone Devinet, Community Involvement Team Leader, and Leighton Hughes, Surveyor. Come up, the three of you. We've got a triptych. Fantastic.
Afternoon, everyone, and thanks for getting the pronunciation right, Gabby. It's rare. Tamagotchi, Tankanenchi, Takuchi, spot on, which is a good start. I know we are pushed for time and everyone's after a lunch, I'm guessing, so I'll briefly explain. My name's Luke. I work as Chief Exec for Rhondda Housing. Who are we? We're a small business. We've got 65 staff, turnover of about £8 million, based in the Rhondda Valleys. And a lot of the things resonate today about the challenges with the demographic, old mining communities, talking about issues such as mental health isn't always as easy as it might be elsewhere. I've been in the business for 4 years and CEO since the summer. And I guess one of the things, actually, forget your notes, I'm usually the expert. So if I talk about housing associations and building homes and delivering services, fine. Mental health, a little bit different. So to my daughter last night, who's 8, I said, right, I'm going to just talk you through it. And she told me it was the most boring 2 minutes of her life. So prepare yourselves. So I tweaked it and I thought, right, I better tweak this. This needs to change. We've got a family feel in the organisation. I did a Q&A with all the staff when I started in the new post. What's good about working at Rhondda Housing? Across the board, it's a family feel, which for me, a few questions then, because you think you don't want to be complacent. You don't want to just rest on your laurels, but actually it's a huge positive for us around the housing. So it's something that's happened very naturally. I don't feel myself as the Chief Exec have ever sat back and thought, shall we do well-being and shall we help people with mental health? It seems like the absolute obvious thing to do, to be honest. And I think that's where we're getting to. So we started to deliver things on the ground. There was another changing moment for me. I was in a room about 3 weeks ago with a monk. Any monks here today? No? Okay. A monk, I think his name is Gaylong Tubten, and he works with Ruby Wax. And if you haven't read the book, I think it's called How to Be Human. And he talks about mindfulness. And he spoke about going to a monastery on Scottish Island for, I think it was 5 years, to learn how to do mindfulness. And actually, when he came out, the world was just a different place. And I think we all feel that. And I think it was Charlie or someone this morning mentioned about that pace of life. So he said that people were walking around on phones. Even when you watch a TV programme, there's more clips per minute. So everything's just faster. So I thought, right, we do the nuts and bolts well at Rhondda. We build homes. We manage the services. We've been congratulated for that. What can I do as the Chief Exec? And I think for me, it's about enabling people to be the best that they can possibly be. So creating that environment that when they come to work, we're a small business, they feel like it's a family. They feel like they can talk to me as a senior leader, the exec team, the board, and colleagues. And I've really tried to instill that, and hopefully that will come across in our case study. I've probably gone over, so I will pass to my highly esteemed colleagues who will talk you through.
Okay, so I'm just going to cover briefly the kind of activities that took place and the things we planned. So we made sure they were diverse, we made sure there was something for everyone and at every time of the day, so everybody would be able to access some kind of activity and some kind of support. We have mental health first aiders, mental health first training for anyone who wanted it, but designated mental health first aiders, which has been really helpful and a really high take-up. We've had things like brain food buffets, which have just encouraged people to down tools, so to speak, and to come together at lunchtime, all of us at the same time. And I think that goes some way to create what Luke said about the family feel that we have there. We've had weekly yoga sessions, dementia friends sessions that our tenant board members have actually delivered for us. Walking and rugby football tournaments, which have been really, really competitive, especially when you bring other organisations into that. Alternative therapy sessions, which have had a really high take-up. Stress awareness, mindfulness, all kinds of things. Mindfulness, by the way, on one session we had to eat a strawberry mindfully. I've never taken any notice of the tiny pips in the skin, ruined it for me. All our HAPUS team members are Time to Change champions. We've signed the pledge in 2016. We hold an event every year. Partnerships are really important, so we work with Mind, we work with Goval to make sure that we've got experts advising us and involved with us. At our AGM, we took the time to show the Don't Take Me Home video, which maps the Welsh boys' journey to the Euros, but also is hard-hitting and explores the impact that Gary Speed's death had on the team and their mental health. And we've shown that repeatedly in work, so other people can have a chance to just, you know, have a chance to watch something like that and to discuss openly the impact that those kind of things can have, as well as the beautiful Black Dog video, which just really graphically and visually explains the impact that depression can have on a person. We've had other things like Walking Wednesdays, which have been really helpful and just encourage people to get away from their desk and to walk and to chat to other people from different teams. Gives you a lot of energy when you go back to your desk and you've done something over a lunchtime. And we've had, I think for me, the main thing was I deliver something called Brunch and Babble, which over the years we've had people just come and dip into a morning session where you can have something to eat and a chance to talk about mental health. And in the beginning, we had 6 people who would dip in for 20 minutes or so. That increased the last time to 20 people who stayed for over an hour. And it was overwhelming for me because I hadn't prepared, excuse me. But on the other hand, it was really positive because I think it shows that our programme is breaking that stigma and people are willing to come and chat. So we've been really successful, but I'm just going to hand over to Leighton, who's going to give a little bit more detail about how and what, you know, how we've done what we've done.
Okay, thank you, Simone. As Simone said, I'm Leighton. I'm a building surveyor around the Housing Association. I'm also one of the mental health first aiders. I've been there about 10 years or so. I've been asked many times what makes it such a good place to work at. For me, it's always the same answer. We're like one big family and we all look out for each other. And that is the approach we take to mental health and well-being. We all look out for each other. Simple as that. We all understand. We all know the mind's a complex thing. And we understand the importance of early intervention when dealing with mental health, catching people before it gets to crisis stage and beyond. So what we do, we try to do some simple things at Rhondda to try and catch people early, to prevent anything getting wrong. Simone's already mentioned the Babble and Brunch events. We're quite a social company, actually. We do a lot of events outside, all supported by the company. Babble and Brunch, marvellous. We get a couple of hours breakout every month or so. The company puts on some food for us, healthy food, I might add. We troop to the canteen. There's no agenda, nothing like that at all. We just chat and chat and chat. It's excellent for breaking down barriers, and it's also excellent for getting teams between different floors working together. As a first aider, we all rely on referrals of colleagues in the workplace. And if we see anything we need to step in with, we will, of course, you know. Everybody gets an off day, as you understand. But if somebody gets a succession of off days or we see things changing, then we'll try and have a little chat to somebody. The first aiders are based across 3 floors. I'm watching the time. Based across 3 floors, as well as doing our regular jobs. What we do, we tend to keep an eye out for people to make sure everything's okay with people, you know. Simple as that. If we see any changes, behaviour, demeanour, appearance, anything at all we're concerned about, what we'll try and do is arrange discreet chats with people. We'll contact them quietly, whether it's via text, email, or even a quiet whisper in the corridor, and we'll arrange to meet in one of our quiet rooms in the office. And what we'll do, we'll literally sit down and chat and talk to them 10, 15 minutes or more. That's all it takes sometimes. It's always interesting to see when somebody comes in, they may be a little bit anxious or tense, their body language is telling you something's not quite right. But you just sit there with them, is that 10, 15 minutes or more, and they go from there down to there, you know. You can see the body language changing. Interestingly, we call them talk and chat events, talk and chat sessions. But they're more about listening, as everybody's involved with mental health knows. Listening is a massive part of it. Now, the first aiders have all been trained by Gofal Cymru in listening techniques. I've got to ask, does anybody know the Elvis technique? No, okay. This is something we've been taught. It's a genuine technique. It's a way of listening to somebody who's an issue or issues without interrupting, allowing the flow of conversation to go without asking too many questions. And what happens when you get a natural sort of pause or break during the conversation or when they're talking to you, you just interject with a quick, aha, You don't burst into song, you certainly don't swivel your hips, okay? Right, okay. Obviously for us, the welfare of the person, individual, is the most important thing here. But the knock-on effect is it makes for a better workplace, a happier workplace for us all. And of course, for us, we manage about 1,700 properties in South Wales with approximately 3,000 plus tenants as our customers. So we all need to be in a good place for those people because they're the ones that really matter. Results, okay, I'm going to briefly talk about results. We're currently looking at a new way of assessing what we're doing. But the results so far have shown that people taking time off with sickness in the last year or so has dropped significantly, which we think is an achievement. And also, in our most recent staff survey, even more people than before found it's a really great place to work, which is something really, really proud of. A lot of feedback we do get of people who come to the offices, whether they're contractors or visitors or volunteers. The general comments are, what a lovely, happy place it is to work and how helpful the staff are. And we are really, really proud of that. Right, I'm coming to the end now. I think I've got about 12 seconds left. For me today, a day like today, for all of us today, I think it's very important we share best practice. So if anybody wants to speak to myself during the day, Luke or Simone, please come and speak to us. We'd be more than glad to speak to you. I'm Leighton. Thank you for listening. Enjoy the rest of your day.